webinar focusing on how we teach addition in Year 1 and 2. I will talk through key methods and vocabulary as well as how we develop children's understanding when learning addition. Across all of our maths learning, we use these three key concepts to enable children to understand and deepen their knowledge and understanding. Concrete is the doing stage, using concrete objects to solve problems. It brings concepts to life by allowing children to handle physical objects themselves. Pictorial is the seeing stage, using representations of the objects involved in maths problems. This stage encourages children to make a mental connection between the physical object and abstract levels of understanding by drawing or looking at pictures, circles, diagrams, or models which represent the objects in the problem. Abstract is the symbolic stage, where children are able to use abstract symbols to model and solve maths problems. Here are some of the resources that we use when teaching addition in maths to provide children with a hands-on approach. Tens frames and double-sided counters, bead strings to 100, Numicon shapes, Unifix cubes, and base 10. The key foundations of addition are rooted in understanding the composition of numbers. Here you can see how a part-whole model has been used to show one way to make the number 5. Children understand that numbers can be split into two parts, which together make the whole number, and they explore these using concrete resources. You can also see how a tens frame and counters in two different colours have been used to show a number bond to 7 with the matching number sentence. Finally, children will build upon their early years knowledge of the number bonds, pairs of numbers that make 10 and later on to 20. The children are expected to record these formulae into a number sentence using the add and equal signs. The next step is to introduce children to a number line to add two numbers together. Lots of practical activities will be used so children understand the concept of jumps on a number line. To work out 11 plus 5, we explain finding the start number, which is the first number in the calculation. Then we jump up the number line with the second number in the calculation, which is 5. We then look at the number we have landed on, and this is the total or sum. Moving into Year 2, children will recap previously learnt concepts before moving on to the next step. In this case, it's adding two two-digit numbers, not crossing a 10 first of all. The children will use their knowledge of place value and partitioning, splitting numbers into tens and ones, to aid them with this concept. It is important to note that children are not required to set their calculations up using the formal written method, commonly known as column addition, but they should be encouraged to set out concrete resources in a methodical way. Here we are adding together 51 and 27. Using base 10 resources, the children will split each number into the tens and ones. So 50 and 1 for 51, and 20 and 7 for 27. They will then align the base 10 like so, and add together the ones first. So we do 7 plus 1 equals 8, then the tens. 50 plus 20 equals 70. We then add the tens and ones together to get the sum of 78. Once the children have grasped a previous concept, we move on to adding two two-digit numbers which will cross a 10, requiring them to exchange 10 ones for 1 10, commonly known as carrying over in the column method in Key Stage 2. Once again, children do not need to set out their calculations using the column method, but should be encouraged to organise their manipulatives in a structured way. So let's have a look at 45 plus 37. Step 1. Use the base 10 to set out each number in a structured way. Here we can see a place value chart has been used. Step 2. Add the ones. 5 plus 7, which equals 12. We are going to exchange the 10 ones for 1 10 and place this underneath as shown, leaving the two ones in place. Step 3. We would encourage the children to verbalise the answer using the following sentence stem and total up the ones and the tens. We can then see we have a final total of 82. Overarching each small step will be ample opportunities for children to complete some problem-solving activities which help deepen their understanding and verbalise their rationale behind their answers. Here are a couple of examples which may be used in both Year 1 and 2. Feel free to pause the video to read through these. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this webinar. I hope it's been helpful in supporting the learning of addition in Key Stage 1.